There they are. Excellent.
Oh, can you guys see us? Okay, cool. I can't. Well, anyways. Yeah, we're Alan and I and my family, Hannah and Sarah, we're out here on Cranberry Pond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
And I'm going to turn the camera over to Sarah so we can demonstrate some icy stuff.
I like it.
Can you run this, baby?
Everybody
Want to see.
wants
Yeah,
to,
I mean, you could probably just can you flip it like this?
if everybody turns it on speaker view, they'll be able to see. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Good night.
All right. All right.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So, okay.
His homework assignment, I'll reiterate it after Chris and Alan broadcast, because that is, if you missed the where to click, we'll tell you again at the end of Chris.
All right.
Okay. So I want to show everybody what we have in our ice observation kit that some of you already have, and the rest of you hopefully will receive in the mail very soon. So in the kit, everybody gets a bag that looks something like this to kind of keep things organized. And I wanted to point out that it's actually pretty nice if you have a sled that you can take out with your class, because you can put it out there, and if you drop something, it's easier not to lose it in the snow. But we have a basic shovel
Can you stop, please?
that fits inside the bag. So it's just like an avalanche rescue shovel, but that works pretty good. But you can bring your own shovel if you want. We also have an ice thickness gauge. Now this is kind of a fancy thing, and you can use other things to measure ice thickness, but basically what you do is you take this and you drill your hole and you lower this down through the hole like this. Go to the bottom, you can use this to measure the depth of the water, and then you reel it up, and then this comes up to the bottom of the ice like this, and then you pull it. You can take a measurement right there, and then you pull a little harder, and this snaps. You pull it up through the ice. So that's your ice thickness gauge. The most important tool is your ice auger, and this has a cutting blade on it. This is like a little protective cover right here. This is pretty sharp, so you kind of want to watch that when you're with your students. But we've given you 2 flights, which will go down through about
1 meter, 3 feet.
Yeah, about 3 feet of ice, and that pops in like that. And you can pop this one in right here. We also have an extension so you can get even deeper, because I know in No Attack last year, Brett actually didn't have enough auger flight to get through the ice because it was a pretty cold year. So that's what that looks like. And you can also hook this up to a cordless drill too, if you want to. And we sent you this adapter for the cordless drill. We did not send you the drill because sending a lithium battery through the mail is not acceptable. But if you have your own, it makes it a lot easier, especially when the ice is really thick. But you do want to be careful with your students when they're using a drill like this, because it can kind of torque your wrist, and sometimes you could. Anyways, you just need to be exercise some caution with that. So that's like the basic gear. One other thing we sent you for measuring snow depth is a Avalanche Pro, but you can use other things for this. But this works pretty good, and we're using that for measuring snow depth. And you can also, on most of them, not this one, we have actually a hose clamp that we have fixed to this. And you can also use that in case your ice thickness gauge has any problems. You can use that for measuring ice thickness, because you just put a little hook down here at the bottom to measure ice thickness. And also in the kit, we have, I think, 4 sets of rubber gloves that we gave people. I tried to pick out sizes, guess what size hands you might have in your classroom. But anyways, we'll see how well I did with that. Also in the kit, I put a thumb drive with a bunch of folders and some files and stuff like that for you. Anything else you can think of, Alan?
No, just the thumb drive has the lesson plans and the video. So in case you weren't able to pull them up today, you can go check out those videos from the thumb drive whenever you finally get that in.
Okay.
You guys have some questions.
Okay.
Do you want me to? So they're asking, how long does it take to hand auger the ice?
Yeah, well, why don't I just give a quick demonstration? So it really depends a lot. When the ice is thicker or when it's really warm out, it can take longer to drill through the ice. Like I would say, and some of the teachers who did this last year can chime in, but if the ice is really thick, it can take like 5 or 10 minutes at least, especially for a smaller child.
Yeah.
But right now, I think I could drill through this pretty quickly. Let's see. And actually, one thing I want to show you right now is that this lake has a bit of overflow, and I like to put on these gloves whenever possible, just so I don't soak my cloth gloves. But if you look through this right now, there's a crust, so we have overflow, and the top of that froze. And this is actually going to make it a little bit harder to drill through, but still it's thin enough that I don't think it'll be that hard. But let's take a look.
Go Chris, go Chris, go Chris.
Is Katie saying something?
She was just saying, go, Chris.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's
So-
cheering you on.
All right. So now it popped through, and you can see the water's like really coming up now. So, and we're right near shore right here, but it's actually pretty deep.
It's a deep lake.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's about 3 meters deep right there. And then the ice thickness, it's a little bit hard to see just because there's so much slush right here, but the ice thickness is about 23 centimeters. All right, so I'll pop that up, and that's what we do. How's that?
Pretty good.
You want to show anything else?
Should we mention probably taking this apart?
Oh, yeah.
It's a good idea as soon as possible. Especially when it's really cold out, this can freeze together pretty quick. And then without bringing it inside, you won't be able to get it apart and back in the bag. So we have this little nut driver here that we can use for a couple different things. But here it's really useful to push these buttons in. They can get pretty stiff, especially when it's cold out. You just work it out like that. Make sure we put our protective cap back on our auger. And then that all fits right back in the bag.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how about we do a demonstration of how to assess ice, whether the lake is safe or not. And so, my dear, do you want to come off the ice before we figure out if it's safe or not? And
Dear, I like how you said my dear. That was very nice.
Yeah. Okay, so our basic protocol is to find a place on shore that we think it's safe to start from, and then we're going to have one person on the shore that's going to be tied off to the person that's going to go out and check the thickness of the ice, right? And we know that most of this ice is already safe, but we're going to show you the protocol anyways. But we also know that there's a place of very thin ice out in this lake, and so we're going to be careful around that. And if one of us falls through, then we're going to show how to rescue that person. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to
Put your PFD on first.
Oh yeah, put the PFD on. Yeah. And we're going to give a PFD to the person on the shore and the person going out on the ice. Okay. And I'm also going to take a pair of, what the heck do they call these things?
Ice picks.
Ice picks. And you can use almost anything for these. Like a lot of people will just use 2 screwdrivers tied together with a line. But these are actually like official ice picks. So we'll put those on like this. Is there anything else I need, Alan?
You need your safety rope.
Okay, put a rope on. I'm gonna tie. Did not. I'm going to take a drill. So in this case, I actually am going to bring a drill like this, and I actually measured out a 5-inch distance right here. So if we go deeper than that, I'm going to know it's going to be safe. But you can, as I think it was Robert mentioned, you can use your finger, which is actually a good way to do it because that's usually about 5 inches, and you can like drill a hole. And if you can't reach through it with your finger, that's a pretty good sign it's thicker than 5 inches or 4 inches, right?
Yep.
Is there anything else I need?
Your spud for sounding.
Spud.
Yep.
Okay, so Alan is on the shore right here. He's anchoring us off, and I'm going to stick the drill in my life jacket right here like that. Oh my God. That was exciting. Okay, so I'm going to take a few steps and then sound. And the one thing about this particular lake is that since there's overflow, I'm going to have to make sure I sound through the overflow. So that feels pretty solid. Then I'll probably want to stop and drill a hole. Okay, so I didn't get past, or I did get past the 5-inch, the 4-inch mark right there. I don't need a holster for this thing, actually. We should add that to the kit.
Drill holster. Sarah, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm keeping a mental note.
Do you want to focus on me real quick?
Okay.
So,
I'm going to drill a.
I'm
Okay,
just feeding this line
got a
out
little
as long as I can,
construction work with this fucking
and
drill.
while staying on shore. And eventually, if we do get far enough, I'll venture out and follow the same path that Chris took because I know that's safe. But I want to stay on shore as long as possible.
Okay, so I've drilled 2 test holes now, and they're both fine. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to drill a 3rd hole. Okay, not through. This is going to be hole number 4. And typically, like on this particular lake, the snow is really thin right now because most of it's been turned into snow ice and overflow. But I'm going to want to bring a shovel with me typically to do this. So you can see how your hands are going to be kind of full. So we might need to integrate that into the protocol, right? Okay. Good. Uh-oh, the ice feels a little bit funny right here. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm going to keep repeating. Still good. That was hole number 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It feels a little bit funny right here. I'm going to take another reading. Huh. Yeah, it's a funny signal. I'm not sure what's going on here. Huh. I'm going to go a little bit farther and see what happens. Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Whew.
All right.
Okay. So I've fallen in, and
I know.
I'm going to try to stay calm. Alan is coming out closer, and I'm going to try to use my ice spuds to pull me out. So I'm starting to lose consciousness because it's so cold.
It's pretty
so
cool.
Alan's going to help me pull out.
All right.
I kick myself out. Okay. Okay. And that wasn't so bad, actually. Although my toes are very cold now. Anyways, okay. But don't try this at home necessarily. Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to get out. I was able to follow him because I knew that this path was safe. I think the main thing to consider if you do end up going through, so it's probably not the end of the world. So don't panic, stay calm, and you can usually get out, especially by retracing your steps back from where you just came from.